How do you spend millions of dollars to achieve absolutely nothing? These 10 movies are the 0% Club. They didn't just flop, they achieved a perfect 0 score from critics.
Sorry about that.
Some destroyed careers, others sparked lawsuits. And number 1 is statistically the most hated film in cinema history. Number 10.
You're gonna give me that little black box. That's what happens now.
Then what?
What happens when you take the biggest action star of the 90s and hold him hostage in his own movie? You get Precious Cargo, a film so disjointed it feels like a fever dream. Bruce Willis is top billed, but if you look closely, you'll see the weirdness. He barely moves, he never runs, and in almost every close-up, he is visibly wearing an earpiece. Why? Reports suggest he didn't even memorize the script. Lines were allegedly fed to him wirelessly to rush through production. The movie burned $10.5 million. It clawed back a humiliating $567,000 total. The Boston Globe noted Willis looks like a hostage, and they're right. This is the geezer teaser scam. Hire a legend for 2 days, film the back of a stand-in's head for the action scenes, and trick you into renting it. They hid the 0% Rotten Tomatoes score and took the money. Willis lost $9 million here. But if you think a wireless earpiece is strange, wait until you hear what happened to Jim Carrey. Number 9. Imagine paying Jim Carrey millions to act like a depressed Polish plumber. In Dark Crimes, Carrey didn't just go dark, he went into a coma. He shaved his head, grew a Letterman retirement beard, and adopted a whisper-quiet accent that sounds like Ace Ventura trying to order pierogies. One critic said he wasn't acting. He was method acting as a corpse. The movie is so grim, it opens with awkward torture scenes and sets that look like a Soviet prison. The studio was so horrified they shelved it for 2 years before quietly dumping it. The result? A film starring a global icon opened to $30,000 total. That's less than the catering budget. They hid it in 4 theaters. Critics handed it a 0% score, noting that the only mystery in this thriller was why it exists. Carrey tried to be True Detective. He ended up being The Room. But while Carrey quietly flopped, our next movie didn't go quietly. It triggered headlines, lawsuits, and absolute chaos. Number 8. This isn't a movie, it's an active crime scene. London Fields is the only film where the director sued the producers for fraud and the cast treated the red carpet like a contagious disease. The cast list now reads like a cursed artifact. You have Amber Heard starring alongside, awkwardly, an uncredited Johnny Depp. Watching them share screen time in a psychedelic murder mystery today feels like witnessing a bad omen. The film is such a mess that Vanity Fair said it looked like it was edited by a drunk person. The best part? The director, Matthew Cullen, actually agreed. He essentially promoted the film by saying, yeah, the bad reviews are right. It opened in 600 theaters, but averaged about 2 tickets per screen. The ushers outnumbered the audience. It earned a 0% score because everyone involved was too busy suing each other to actually finish the movie. But if legal disasters are bad, our next movie became a meme before the internet even knew how to handle it. Number 7.
Yeah, here's 3.
Hey, Johnny! Come on!
John Travolta thought he was making The Godfather. Instead, he made the internet's favorite meme. Gotti isn't just a bad movie, it is a conspiracy theory caught on tape. Travolta cycles through cheap wigs and grimaces like he has severe indigestion. The pacing is frantic, and for some baffling reason, the soundtrack for this 1980s mob biopic was done by Pitbull. Yes, Mr. Worldwide. Critics handed it a flat 0%. But here is where it gets crazy. The marketing team snapped. They launched official ads accusing critics of being trolls behind a keyboard. Suddenly, thousands of users with brand new accounts flooded Rotten Tomatoes with 5-star reviews. They were literally caught botting their own movie. The Guardian called it a fever dream where everyone is yelling, which is accurate. Travolta still defends this disaster to this day. But while mob bosses are scary, our next entry proves that even plastic toys can be terrifying failures. Number 6.
I'm warning you, stay back! No, stop! I said stay away!
Mattel looked at Marvel's billions and said, we can do that. They took Max Steel, a toy huge in Latin America but unknown everywhere else, and tried to force feed a cinematic universe to the world. The result is baffling. It is a superhero movie where the hero doesn't become a superhero until the last 10 minutes. For the first hour, he just rides a bike and argues with a floating alien robot that makes Jar Jar Binks look like a serious dramatic actor. The Max Steel suit finally appears and it looks like a plastic motocross outfit bought at Party City. They dumped this into 2,000 theaters, but it opened at number 11, getting crushed by a Kevin Hart stand-up comedy special. It averaged less than $1,000 per screen, meaning most showings were playing to empty chairs. Critics gave it a 0%, calling it a commercial for a toy that no longer exists. Mattel killed the franchise instantly. But if plastic suits are bad, wait until you see Nicolas Cage fight the Christian apocalypse using special effects from Windows 98. Number 5. God saved the believers during the rapture, but he clearly looked at this script and said, no thanks. Left Behind stars Nicolas Cage, a man who has famously never said no to a paycheck, trapped in a Christian apocalypse movie that feels like a bad fever dream. The plot? People vanish to heaven. Cage plays a philandering pilot trying to land a plane. The execution? Pure chaos. The budget was $16 million, yet the visual effects look like a PlayStation 2 game crashing. When people get raptured, they don't just fade away, they leave behind neatly folded piles of clothes, literally empty pants standing upright before flopping over. It is the most hilarious depiction of the end times ever filmed. Cage spends the movie screaming at green screen so cheap you can see the emerald glow reflecting off his forehead. The New York Times called it a hostage situation for the eyes. It holds a biblical 0% score, proving that while Jesus saves, this movie was beyond redemption. But if you think bad CGI is a sin, wait until you see a $20 million movie about karate chopping babies. Number 4.
If he could control the children, he could control the world. He even captured...
This is a crime against humanity. It is a $20 million sequel that features karate chopping toddlers and a plot that Roger Ebert said could cause PTSD in adults. They put geniuses in the title, which is ironic because everyone involved clearly suffered a severe head injury. Superbabies, Baby Geniuses 2. Sony spent $20 million, enough to build a school, to film Jon Voight, an actual Oscar winner, dressed in a purple cape playing a villain who wants to brainwash the world using satellite TV. His nemesis? Babies who know Kung Fu. The visual effects are pure nightmare fuel. They digitally pasted adult mouths onto real infants. So the babies don't look cute, they look possessed. One baby slides down a bowling alley knocking over bad guys. Another rappels down a building. There's a breakdancing scene with toddlers. Roger Ebert didn't just hate it. He warned it could cause medical trauma. It has a perfect 0% score and is ranked as the second worst movie of all time by IMDb users. It made $9 million, lost $11 million, and destroyed Jon Voight's dignity forever. But while Superbabies was merely incompetent, our next movie was so humiliating, the studio literally hid it from the American public. Number 3.
That day. No jitters, nothing.
Imagine spending $25 million on A-list stars, hiring a legendary director, and then making a movie so toxic that the studio treated it like radioactive waste. Killing Me Softly was supposed to be a steamy, erotic thriller starring Heather Graham and Joseph Fiennes. Instead, it features dialogue that sounds like it was written by an alien trying to understand human reproduction. The chemistry between the leads is so non-existent it could freeze boiling water. The San Francisco Chronicle wrote, "Killing Me Softly is killing me slowly. Every minute feels like an hour." It holds a 0% rating, which makes perfect sense. MGM was so humiliated they canceled the American theatrical release entirely. A $25 million movie featuring the star of Austin Powers went straight to the DVD bargain bin. That's not a flop. That's a studio paying money to make sure you never see their movie. But while this was hidden in shame, our next entry was a massive public failure. It takes a special kind of stupidity to pay Eddie Murphy $40 million and tell him not to talk. Number 2.
They're pulling out of the deal. They said some twerp junior agent came to the meeting with you.
Who is the smartest studio executive in history? Probably the guy who paid Eddie Murphy, the funniest man on earth, $40 million to not talk for an entire movie. 1,000 words, Eddie Murphy. Beverly Hills Cop, Coming to America, Shrek. The man was a comedy legend. And then somebody gave him $40 million and told him to shut up. Eddie plays a fast-talking agent who discovers a magical tree. Every time he speaks a word, a leaf falls. When all the leaves fall, he dies. So the entire movie is Eddie Murphy doing mime work like he's trapped in a silent film from 1920. It's like hiring Usain Bolt for a three-legged race. It's like hiring Gordon Ramsay to microwave Hot Pockets. The movie cost $40 million, made $22 million, lost nearly $40 million with marketing. The AV Club said 1,000 Words is a comedy with no laughs, a drama with no heart, and a waste of everyone's time. 57 critics reviewed it. 57 gave it a rotten rating, 0%. Here's the kicker. Filmed in 2008, the studio kept it locked in a vault for 4 years, hoping everyone would forget. They released it in 2012 like disposing of nuclear waste. This was supposed to be Eddie's comeback. Instead, it became his career obituary. We've seen bad acting, we've seen bad CGI, but our #1 pick is different. It's a statistical anomaly, a movie so universally hated it achieved a record that may never be broken. Number 1. And finally, we reach the bottom of the barrel, the statistical champion of garbage. A movie that spent $70 million to achieve a perfect 0% rating across the entire planet. Ballistic, Ecks vs. Sever is the worst reviewed movie in Rotten Tomatoes history. 119 reviews, 119 rotten stamps, 0 positive. That's unanimous hatred. It cost $70 million in 2002. That's over $100 million today. It made $19.9 million worldwide. The studio lost over $50 million, more than every other movie on this list combined. The plot is incomprehensible. Two agents, Ecks and Sever, fight over something. A weapon? A child? Nobody knows. The script reads like malfunctioning AI. Roger Ebert gave it half a star. This movie is like a video game that no one is playing. The Washington Post said, aggressively incompetent. Hard to believe professionals made this. The studio wanted a franchise. Ecks vs. Sever 2, 3, and 4. Instead, the director, a man named Chaos, never directed another major film. His career ended here. Antonio Banderas and Lucy Liu starred in it. In interviews, both admitted they don't remember making it. This movie is taught in film schools as a masterclass in failure. Ballistic. Ecks vs. Sever broke Rotten Tomatoes. 23 years later, it's never been topped. 10 movies, big stars, massive budgets, total disasters. If you want to see me suffer through the 10 worst sequels of all time, hit subscribe so you don't miss it. And let me know in the comments, which of these bombs shocked you the most?